Oh, I am sluggish. Yes, sluggish is the word today. I am sluggish today. And it's not like I had, yesterday racing at the Meadows back at Northfield, even at midnight. That wasn't it. That wasn't it at all. I don't really know what it is and why this thing keeps dinging and dinging and dinging. My God. I can't really put my finger on it. Amy and the kids aren't here, so obviously a little lonely maybe today, I guess. But my mind doesn't know how to process it. There's nothing around. No dogs, no kids. Nobody, hey, let's go here, let's do this, let's trying to plan a day for everyone. Nothing is going on. I know what I have to do. It's 11:30 right now. I have to be at Northfield Park tonight. That's it. Those are the only two things to do right now. Now for me, I'm left feeling a little lazy. But it's just an easy Sunday. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't remember the last time I had a Sunday like this. My family and I have had days where there was nothing to do that day. But just Anthony, no one else around? Haven't seen too many of those days in a while. So I wanted to go over the week in general with you. This won't be a long video because there's no banter or dialogue with Amy. There's nothing really startling to talk about. What you see is what you get right now, right? The horses some of them are very good and they're racing very good. Some of them are okay and they're racing decent. And there are some that are racing bad. Now we have horses in the sale on Monday. It's not necessarily that they're racing bad. Perfection Hanover's holding his own. So is both the trotters doing what they could. And Gymboree's coming off what I believe might be a lifetime victory. But we're trying to make transitions. We had 2 acquisitions this week. We bought Winter Soldier from the Alanya brothers, Pete and Tony. We bought JK Mega from Alan Katz. And we're going to continue to try and acquire horses as we get into the fall. And start moving pieces around the chessboard again, right? So the chessboard is over there. You have the sale season coming up. Right here in front of us, we have the stakes season still well underway, right in the heart of stakes season. It feels like it's drawing to a conclusion, but it isn't. We're right in the middle of it. We haven't even got to the Ohio sale, the Jug Week. Haven't even got to the Scratch and Dent sale yet. Gold Cup and Saucers next week. I'm obviously a little heartbroken. My family's getting a little bit older. You know that I lost an uncle a month ago. So it was kind of important that I got to PEI. And when we had Save America off the chessboard, so to speak, because he got injured, I tried for 3 weeks. And I thought the next day when I picked up the phone, it would be very easy to buy 1 or 2 pretty good horses for the Gold Cup. And I tried, and I tried, and I tried. And for 3 weeks, I never found not one horse that was a horse I could put my name behind and say, this was the horse that could win the Gold Cup. Not one. I was a little frustrated. So we have the Gold Cup. We have, I think, next on the block, so to speak, even quietly, the only reason I bring it up is because that's where we got Judy's money last year. So the Ohio, and I guess it's not very polite or nice to call it the Scratch and Dent sale, but you know what I'm talking about. Little off the beaten path horses that are being sold, and there's always that's where we got my JS also. So there is diamonds in the rough in there. A lot of rough. Just a lot of rough. More like needle in a haystack. And sometimes there's just not a needle there. There's just a haystack. But that's next. Then we have Jug Week and the Ohio sale, and then Kentucky, and then all hell breaks loose. So I've done my best to stay grounded and try and focus on what is most important this week. Obviously, most important to me was my son's baseball over the last summer. And I think over the next year that will get easier for Ollie, for Amy, for which is important. Especially since you got the little Spitfire coming, Addie. She wants to play every sport and do everything. She wants to be an astronaut, a police officer, a gymnast, all at the same time. So I'm trying to focus on the family And then the sales that are off here because I have people texting me saying, Anthony, what do you think of this pedigree? What do you think of this pedigree? Put me down. I want to make sure. And then I just said in passing the other day, let me know if you want to buy an aged horse, a yearling. I'm going to start making my own, just soft lists that we can start filling in the blanks. And my email just melted down. Anthony, I would love to buy this. Anthony, I would love to buy that. Anthony, I would love to buy this. And I asked for it. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. God love our clients. You guys are right to the point, and I love that. So those lists are being compiled by me every single day that I get an email. It goes in a little file where it always should have. But that stuff's going on over here, right? But the here and now are the horses now. So I have to make sure I've completely taken off my yearling sale hat. I've completely taken off my dad's baseball hat. And I put on my racing helmet when I'm on the track, and I got to focus, right? Yesterday was a good day at the Meadows. I was so frustrated, though, over the last 3 days. I made a joke about it and said, a lot of bings, no bingos. And I just, the more I thought about it, I don't think I could sit there all night, play bingo, and watch all the people around me yell bingo and not get bingo. But that's exactly what happened on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the Meadows. A whole lot of bings and no bingos. All the horses raced good, and especially Saturday. The horses were tremendous on Saturday. They got beat fair and square. Patrick LaPrana just beaten 49-4. Best race in probably 2 years, that horse. I can't remember the last time he raced better than that. The day I won him 48-4 with him, I know when that was, and I know how he felt that day, and he was good and bad and otherwise all the way in between. But I don't remember the last time he raced better than he did yesterday. Horse was amazing. Arrowhead Hanover, 53 flat. Here, you're trying to do the right thing, right? We're going to try and just slide him into the Stallion Series, pick up an easy win if he's good, and be on our way. No, they're going 52-1 in the Stallion Series. Rock Shining Star. I thought everything went our way. We get stretched the quarter 26-4, but I was very happy with the way he behaved. None of the shutting his air off and really hot. He was perfect yesterday. The kid there stretched me 26-4. Now, he lets me go 27-2, 3. I win. Yannick's second, and he might have been third. But instead, Yannick beat me. I was second, and I'm not sure where he finished. It's racing. I understand in the heat of the moment you don't get that, but that's part of growing up, too, as a driver, is understanding where you should be and where you shouldn't be at any given time. And Rock Shining Star raced great. And speaking of where you should be and shouldn't be at any given time, Manhattan Money. I could see in my mind the horses to beat were sitting 1-2 in his race. The horse first over and second over were okay. But this is a horse race. You can't just drive according to the program. Had I kept a closer eye on Yannick or Tim Tetrick up front when I fished for the earplugs getting into the last turn, that should have been my cue to exit stage right. Follow cover, and I would have been fourth. Instead, I waited, and everybody escaped from the middle, and I ended up a decent fifth. As I said, Patrick raced good. Foxy Seaside continues to race good. I hope everybody understands out there, right? To me, I like all the emails and all the dialogue with our clients. Whether you're horsemen or not horsemen, whether they're questions or whether they're remarks or statements or whatever they are, I certainly don't mind them. And with respect to Foxy Seaside, I had a lot of dialogue with a number of clients about Foxy Seaside. And as I said to them, there's no quick fix, right? I know everybody sees the horse make a mistake or do something wrong, and you're like, what about doing this? What about doing this? What about doing this? It's not that you're wrong, right? But there's a comfort level there, right? There's a process that we go through, too, with the burn. And I told you there was going to take a little bit of time. And Foxy Seaside, you have not seen her best race yet. I can guarantee you that. Still touching her outside knee. Not as bad as she was the first night I drove her, but still into it. And that's why that horse blew by me down the backstretch last night. She was touching her outside knee, probably feeling a little sorry for herself, didn't want to advance, maybe a little self-conscious about it, and the other horse got the jump on her. Now you get her out of that knee, it's a non-factor. That horse wheels up into my saddle pad, and she is game on. That's the difference, right? So we're getting better every week, but we want to get to the point where There is no hitting the knee. There's no self-consciousness. There's no hesitation whatsoever. There's just straightforward when you ask her to. And we will get there with Foxy Seaside. Rolling all the way back to last week, yeah, we talked just very briefly about highest honors. Just can't be first over. And I joked with Justin about this after, but the reality is leave, sit, or take him back. Lots of helmet, not a lot of air, and the horse will race good. He's just a handy little horse, but he's not a grinder. He's not a first over horse. Diosa de la Danza, I'd missed it because the video was all screwed up where I was trying to watch it, but Justin said he got run into twice. Upon further reflection, he actually did get run into twice. The filly actually raced very, very good, and I was happy with her. Delicious Stone DK continues to be on a roll for us. You know, he's kind of the perfect horse in the sense that he's not perfect because he does have his issues, and they will never go away. They're always there, bubbling under the surface. They're all secondary from his feet that are bad. Dominic has to take care of everything all the time with this horse. He has those giant gaps in his schedule where clearly he was injured. And then you watch him post-spray, and he's a little peggy, and you're like, ooh, just leave him alone. So he's a perfect horse in the sense that not a lot of people, eventually somebody is going to have to just stop biting their lip and claim him. They will. In my experience, that is what will happen. Whether it be this week or the next, or the week after, it will happen eventually. But he's a perfect horse in the sense that there's a lot of reasons not to jump in. And he just keeps piling up good races, one after another, and another good race last week. Great job by Austin, Dominic, and all his crew. Hanger 1 was a little flat. We got to the bottom of that this week. AST was a little over 400. That's not super high. But then you factor in the CK at 400. To me, that tells me he tied up on race day, right? That's when he tied up. So get that AST down, which shouldn't be that hard with it only being 400 or 500 or whatever it was. The GGT was a little high. I think the scale on that blood machine is 0 to 27. His was like 42, 44, something like that. They should be able to get it down, and then I think you're going to see the proper Hanger 1 come back. Now, we had a week off in Northfield. He spent a little bit of time on the walker, and he really loved it. I hate exercising horses on the Equicizer. I think it borders on laziness. It feels that way to me. But sometimes some horses, you know, they're the ones racing. Not me, not you, it's them. So whatever they're comfortable with, and Eric said there is a farm that has lots of turnouts and an Equicizer on site. It is something we may introduce into his training schedule as the year goes on. For next week, what I'd like to do is train him hard on Tuesday. I'm going to be there Monday. I'm not staying for Captain Incredible on Tuesday night. Yannick Gingras is going to drive that horse, but I am going to train Hanger 1 in the morning and see how he feels. I expect he'll feel like he did before. Steady Volo, just need to make a few little adjustments with him. He's hitting that outside knee. We can help him there, I believe. I believe we can. And Cherry's Girl the other day, first start on Lasix. Ronnie drove her a little tough, but she also flattened quickly, and I think she bled a little bit. I didn't think she did. I know she did. Just a couple little flecks found in her throat. Not a big deal. She'll be better her next start. A few little things to work on with her blood. She's almost a tweener where there are some pretty serious stake fillies out there that she could race against. I don't think it makes a lot of sense dropping her into the Stallion Series. And those fillies, you know, that mile where she was second in 56 was a great mile in the Arden, you know, and did bleed. So this is her second start Lasix. If we can get her blood perfect and get her feeling good and right on point, you know, I think she's right there with those fillies. But we'll see. We'll see in the Poconos next week. Blue Rare raced tremendous the other day. First lifetime win for her. So great job by James and Dominic and all his crew also. Gymboree raced great. Tyler gets along really good with this filly. She raced awesome for him. Picked me off at the wire with Resolve Indeed. Now, Resolve Indeed feels like a little bit of a professional loser right now, right? She should have run off in that field. I felt she was waiting for the horses. And, you know, not a big fan of that. But at the same time, they can't hide forever. She's faster than a lot of those fillies in that class. And I expect she'll ring up a win one of these days very, very soon. 3-Point Blue Chip was good in his third. Need a little bit more of that. You're starting to get an idea if you watch enough 3-Point Blue Chip races. Even when he was a baby, we always protected him. And when he gets his feelings hurt, they stay hurt for a few weeks. So run him, hit a helmet, run him up the wood, hit a helmet, run him up the wood, same, and then he'll tell you when he wants to go. When he's ready to go, he's perfect. He's getting there. A big step forward for him the other day. What else do we got here? Lifting Legend was great the other night. Also, Memento Mori was good, but he's heading to Ontario for a number of reasons. I outlined them in the video the other day. Cole's notes. I will have to put 50 to 100 pounds on Memento Mori. That is non-negotiable. And it just seems like whether it's in Ohio or Pennsylvania, wherever he was, it's very difficult to do. He's never carried a lot of weight, and he just needs to put a little bit of weight on. You know, I just think Ontario is a place for him to be right now, especially after looking at Delicious Stone DK. The girls in the barn over there have done a great job with the horses there, and Teresa in particular with Delicious Stone DK. So that's what I would like to see from Mori. I find it really hard to believe that if we get him like that, you won't see him trot better. There has to be a reason that he's not finishing up his miles, and I think it's simply because he's just a little frail. That's my take anyway. One of them on him. Yo Mister was great, also finishing second in 53. We had a tremendous day on Saturday. We come out with Arrowhead Hanover, second in 52 and 1. Trots 53 flat. He raced great. Rock Shining Star roughed up to the quarter a bit, second in 51. He raced good also. And then Patrick the Piranha, big. I can't say it enough. I've been around this horse for a long time. That's as good a race as I've seen him go in quite a long time. And Foxy Seaside finished off our Saturday night with a very, very good second place too. I talked earlier in this video and the other video from today a bit about what we have to work on with Foxy Seaside, but she was good. She is improving. She is getting better. She's getting much more manageable, and I think we're going to finish off the season with a pretty good filly, and a filly that might be the type that we keep over also, that could be a pretty decent 4-year-old. That's my rough take right now. A lot of things are going to happen between now and the end of the year, but Foxy Seaside was impressive last night. So we have a number of things going on. We acquired the 2 horses this week, Winter Soldier and JK Mega. That was important. 2 very, very important pieces of what we're trying to do. A few more horses like that would be interesting. I'd sent an email out to everybody the other day asking who wanted to be involved if we were purchasing a racehorse or 2. And that email in itself is a little more important than just, I wasn't just after right now, right? As we head into the fall, I want to gauge what our appetite is for what we're going to do and where we're going to do it. The reason I'm being a little vague is for the last couple of years, you look at the money they race for in Miami Valley, the farthest thing from a cakewalk is Miami Valley. That is general population. That is the yard. It's a tough place to race, and quite frankly, would we claim horses and race horses down there in the winter? Yeah, I suppose we would. But as I said, it's no cakewalk. It's a tough place to do business. So I'm cautious, very, very cautious about it. But I am gauging our clients, you guys, to see what you want to do moving forward, and if that's maybe a place we're going to end up. Now, that's part of the email. The other part of the email was for right now. We do have a couple of open pacers that are on the market that we're looking at. They are 6 figures. They are expensive horses. And is there an appetite for that right now? I suspect there is. By the looks of my list, I would say yes, there is. But again, we need to look into that. So there's that, and then obviously just off the periphery, because it is August, we're looking at the yearling sales too. What are we doing this year? What are we looking at? You know, my early take on the stake scene this year is I was happy with the way things went with Perfect Thought. It's odd because I heard a number of people that were not happy with the Perfect Stings. We had one, and you couldn't be happier with her. I know it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. She only raced a couple of times on the East Coast, I guess. Yeah, just a couple of times on the East Coast. But this affiliate's going to finish off her year very, very strong. Same as Jailbird Jog. You know, is a Kentucky angle. That's obviously an expensive angle to pursue with respect to the sales. So where's our value going to be found this year, right? I'd say New Jersey, New York. I'd like to get some Ontario breds, but for the love of God, 2-year-old Pacers going 150 there. Also, it's and that's right out of the gate. That's first start. So it's really, really hard it's really hard to really drill down into the data and say, well, this is what we liked. So I think the best thing to do is just take a deep breath, step back, and look at it like we always do. Where are we going to find the most value in horse racing? Sometimes that's hard to do because everybody thinks they have their own plan, their own theory. Oh, we got to buy horses by this sire that cross with this sire, and these are the ones, so we got to look at that first, and then we narrow it down to money. None of that matters. It's the horses, right? We're not racing pedigrees, we're racing horses. So we got to look at athletes first and foremost. So that means got to get a good look at some horses. Well, I only got so much room on my bumper to run into things at breeding farms. So I think over the next month, as I take my trips to Lexington, maybe I'll make a plan to drop out to places like Hunterton, like Kentuckiana, and have a look at some of the horses also. See if we can't get a head start in Kentucky if possible at all. Maybe on my way to Kentucky also, leave a day or a few hours early, stop at places like Midland Acres, see what they have. Ohio is our biggest stomping ground, for good reason. Got some good horses in Ohio this year. Some good horses everywhere. So again, I'm saying it like this to you because every week I'll get 2 or 3 emails from people. I had a great conversation with a gentleman in Australia, one of our clients in Australia, saying that he had used AI and had an algorithm for all the sales and had gone over the first Ohio sale, which was interesting. And yes, of course, I looked at a couple of horses and a couple of pedigrees and videos of the horses, but it was funny that a lot of the stuff that he had on his list, just from going through the videos and the pedigrees myself, were on my list. So another added wrinkle for 2026. I know that a number of our clients have already asked, are you planning to go to Hunterton? Are you planning to go to Kentuckiana? Yes, I am. Of course I am. So, again, we're in the middle of stake season, yet here we find our way talking about yearlings, right? And to finish this video, to talk about our yearlings, I guess this week we'll put up the shares of Muscle Chrome's brother, right, by Centurion ATM. Feinstaff is his name. And we will also put up St. Sarah as we get ready to train and potentially qualify, I guess, Capistrano Knights this week or the next. Again, we have the full sister, who is it? I saw her the other day. She looks a little like her, but she is bigger and stronger than her. And I'll be interested to see what she looks like too. Those are our last 2 yearling offerings. I know you guys were a little bit sluggish on the green shoe out of Isa 10. I get it. But he's a very nice colt, very well put together, and I've been really happy with him and continue to be really, really happy with him and all our babies. So with that, as I said, a little sluggish today, right? But there's still tons to talk about. But I think the only thing about being sluggish and being on my lonesome today was that I was able to just focus on everything. What took place this week? What's coming up next week? What about the yearlings? What about the sales? What about racehorses? If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to drop me a line. You know how to get a hold of me. But those are your videos, this one and the 3 others, for Sunday, August the 10th. Have a great rest of your Sunday. I will talk to you all very soon. Take care.